All right, what's going on right now? I'll be sharing with you guys my 4 favorite exercises for triceps at the moment that have been sparking some new growth in my arms that I want to share with you guys. So basically in my program, I have 5 days a week on my new split, and I have 2 push days. I have push day on day 1, and I have push day on day 4 to really bring up all my pushing muscles, especially my chest, and my triceps as well. So basically I have 2 direct tricep exercises on my push day 1 and 2 at the end of my push day 4. So I'm gonna be sharing with you guys that right now. So one of them is the dip, but I'm doing it in a very specific way. So if you guys have dip station where it's very thin handles and you feel like it's not comfortable, throw on some fat grips. That's personally what I do. I personally don't like dips when the handles are too thin. This is like a 2-inch handle right here. And you're gonna notice I go relatively deeper than most people on my dips. And the reason why is because I have access to that and it feels good for me. So some people, they stop when their upper arm is parallel to the ground. But just like a squat, some people, they feel like this is the max that they have access to. But myself, if I can make my hamstrings touch my calves, why not? So the same applies to the upper body squat, which is the dip. I could personally go lower, so this actually helps me get a better chest stretch and a better tricep stretch. So I take advantage of that. So basically, as opposed to this, I could go deeper. I could go right here, which may be very deep to some, and it might actually be dangerous to some people. But for myself, I realize I have access to it, so I'm not gonna skimp out on that range of motion. So I go right here, I pause, and I don't stop here. I actually get a reach at the top. So I want my shoulders as far away from my ears as possible. So full range here, full range here. So I've been getting some tricep growth off that, just adding more range of motion to my dips, not letting it get too shruggy at the top like most people. And most people, they shrug way too much. Me, I like to keep the shoulders far away from the ears as much as I can to get that lower trap recruitment in the lift. Okay, so as far as how I'm programming the dip at the moment, I do 3 sets and I'm working in 3 different rep ranges. So basically, I got a 4 to 6, work up to the heaviest I could go for 4 to 6 repetitions. This is more heavy work. And then I have a 10 to 12 as a back down set. And then my 3rd set is just body weight, max repetitions. So I could probably get, let's say, anywhere between 20 and 25 reps, especially as I'm fatigued from the other stuff. And I could get the heavy work in the 4 to 6 and the moderate in the 10 to 12. And the reason why I'm doing this is because you see some calisthenics athletes and they're doing super high rep dips who have great arms. You got some other guys like powerlifters, for instance. Sometimes you'll see they're doing like low rep dips. So the reality is they all work. And I'm using all these tools in my arsenal to just grab and take to get the biggest arms possible with the dip. So that's basically what I'm doing at the moment. The classic 1-arm overhead extension. So I mentioned in previous videos that I used to do it with 2 arms in the past, but the way that the tricep crosses over, it just doesn't feel that good for my elbows. It feels kind of awkward. It feels like a behind the neck press. So a couple years ago, I made the change to 1-arm overhead extensions, but I've been changing the way I've been doing it. I've been experimenting with cables after a while, and I wasn't really into it. So I stuck with the dumbbells, but then eventually as it gets heavier, start to feel a bit flimsy. So I've created more constraints. So this is basically the conclusion up till 2023 that I came up with. Given the profile of the lift, there's a lot of tension at the bottom. At the top, there's not that much. So as far as the tempo is concerned, I like to do 3 seconds at the bottom, and I like to just have at the top really quick. I don't even pause at the top, right? And with this opposite hand, as opposed to just free doing nothing with it, I'm gonna hold on to something laterally, and it's gonna keep me more locked in. So this is what it looks like. I can get my bum a little bit more forward. This is especially good if you don't have the best overhead mobility, right? So it looks like this. So 3, 2, 1, 1. 3, 2, 1, 2. 3, 2, 1, 3. Okay, you guys get the idea? And you're gonna do that up to 10 reps. Keep in mind that the reps are very long because of this 3, 2, 1, 4. So I'm really maximizing the weighted stretch in that tricep long head. Feels really good. I'm not resting at the top like most people, which is a way to make the exercise easier. I'm basically making this exercise as hard as I want to make it, and I'm getting the active weighted stretch. Oftentimes you see on YouTube so many different tricep exercises, and at first I wasn't able to understand why, but in 2023, I've come to realize that the reason why there's so many different tricep lifts out there that feel vastly different for so many different people is because some people just connect better in certain planes of motion, simply put. And for myself, if I do a regular push down, just pushing down, I don't connect with my triceps as well as if I explore in other planes. And in my case personally, if I explore in the plane in back of me, it feels really good as opposed to just going down with a regular bar. Not to mention that the individuality of the nature of these handles really make it more free for my hands. So I'm not restricted by a bar, so it feels really good. And another reason why I do this push down with a bit of a kickback is because I just connect better with it. And as far as like the dumbbell kickback, I don't like the profile of it. And a cable kickback alone doesn't feel that good, but I basically mesh these two together, and this is the one where I connect the best with. So all I'm gonna do is grab these handles, right? Start right here and just kick it back. The contraction I get in this is insane. It feels a little bit like a dip, but more concentrated. So I'm gonna make this green bar touch my chest right here, flex my tricep. Flex the tricep. I really wanna own it here, so I wanna own my end ranges. Pause here, pause there. And I know my triceps are developing because the last time I was 200, I didn't have this amount of definition in my arms. And if I have this much definition in my arms at the body weight that I'm at, for sure when I lean down, it's gonna be a different story. So I like this exercise as well because the loading potential is good, so don't feel shy to, you could really load this up. So I'm still experimenting with this in my cycle. It's only been a couple weeks, but eventually I will be maxing out the stack. Okay, as far as like programming is concerned, like rep ranges, I like to do these for anywhere from 10 to 20 reps. Myself personally, I don't like tricep lifts in low rep ranges. I feel like they bother my elbows a bit. So I like to make these as heavy as possible or as hard as possible by creating more pauses, higher reps, doing them in a pre-fatigue state after all my presses. So fourth tricep lift for the video, and I've been personally doing this for a couple more weeks as well. I'm for sure gonna keep this one in because of the external stability of the lift. I feel very stable on it. I'm not going anywhere and I'm not flimsy. So some gyms actually already have this machine. Mine doesn't, so I created it myself. So I have head support, I have back support. I'm gonna start right here and do the individual handles. It feels great. I'm gonna extend the tricep. So once my forearm touches my bicep, stop right here, pause. So a lot of people when they do this, they come short with the lock. You wanna lock, that's the whole point, right here. If you guys don't have access to the bar I just showed you, no problem. Simply grab 2 ropes. You're gonna go on the incline bench. You're gonna lie back. Does the exact same thing. Me personally, I like it when the handles are a bit wider, but this still works very fine. So you can still get the same effect. You don't need fancy equipment to build muscle. Just make sure the principles apply. Just squeeze only end ranges. You're good. So that basically concludes the video. Those are my 4 favorite tricep lifts at the moment. This one I'm using to elevate my arm training and just take them to the next level. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys could relate to any of this. What are you guys personally doing to grow your arms in the year 2023? Or what have you been using that has been working, that you've had success with, that you're gonna keep doing? Let me know down below. With that being said, see you guys soon.